Welcome to Educare India. Here is a detailed English summary of The Last Lesson by Alphonse Daudet. The Last Lesson by Alphonse Daudet is a poignant and evocative short story set in a small French village during the Franco-Prussian War in the late 19th century. The narrative revolves around a young boy named Franz, who experiences a profound moment of realization during the last French language lesson conducted by his teacher, Mr. Hamel. The story begins with Franz waking up late on a Monday morning, dreading the thought of going to school. As he walks to school, he observes the unusual silence in the village, the absence of playful banter among his classmates, and the ominous presence of Prussian soldiers patrolling the streets. Franz is puzzled by the somber atmosphere but remains oblivious to the significant events unfolding around him. Upon reaching school, Franz is surprised to see that the school bell is ringing much earlier than usual. He speculates about the possible reasons for this deviation from the regular schedule. To his shock, he discovers that the Prussian authorities have decreed that henceforth, only German will be taught in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine, the French provinces under Prussian occupation. This marks a devastating blow to the cultural identity of the region, as French was a vital part of their heritage. The realization that his beloved French language is now prohibited in the classroom leaves Franz in a state of disbelief and despair. He recalls the days when he used to take the beauty of his language for granted, and now it is being taken away from him by the oppressive forces of war. This abrupt change represents the larger theme of cultural suppression and the impact of war on the identity of a community. As Franz enters the classroom, he is met with a different sight than usual. The students, aware that it is their last French lesson, have gathered somberly, and Mr. Hamel, the teacher, is dressed in his finest clothes. The scene is charged with an atmosphere of nostalgia and impending loss. Mr. Hamel, recognizing the historical significance of the moment, decides to conduct the entire lesson in French, despite the new directive from the Prussian authorities. Mr. Hamel's commitment to preserving the French language becomes a symbol of resistance against the cultural assimilation imposed by the Prussians. The classroom, once a place of routine and familiarity, now becomes a space where the richness of the French language is celebrated and cherished. The teacher passionately explains the nuances of grammar, spelling, and the importance of the language to the students. Franz, who had initially despised the idea of attending school that day, undergoes a transformation as he listens to Mr. Hamel's heartfelt words. He begins to understand the true value of his language and regrets not paying more attention in the past. The lesson becomes a revelation for Franz, as he realizes that he is losing something precious, not just a language, but a part of his identity and heritage. Throughout the lesson, Mr. Hamel shares anecdotes and expresses his love for the French language, instilling a sense of pride and appreciation in the students. The realization that this may be the last time they hear their language being taught in a formal setting creates a profound impact on the students, including Franz, who is deeply moved by the experience. As the lesson progresses, the church bell tolls, marking the end of the class. Mr. Hamel, in his closing remarks, emphasizes the importance of holding on to one's language and heritage, even in the face of adversity. He urges the students to always love and cherish their French identity. The bell tolls again, signifying the end of an era for the village, as the French language is officially replaced by German. The story ends with Franz contemplating the weight of the moment and recognizing the significance of the French language in preserving the cultural fabric of his community. The impact of this last lesson stays with him for the rest of his life, serving as a powerful lesson on the importance of cultural preservation and the enduring value of one's linguistic and cultural heritage.